Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. We're not going back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Why you come late? You're not going back to Godhead either. I didn't hear. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, coordinate something. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama. Hey. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Oh, you will play too. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Louder. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astotarasata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Shri Kishore Kishori Ki Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Shri Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Srimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Yugadharma Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Shamaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Pralada Lada Daine.
Pralada Daine.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatanka Nakalaye. Ito Nishringha Parato Nishringho. Yato Yato Yamitato Nishringho. Bahir Nishringho Hridaye Nishringho. Nrsimhamadhyam Sharanam Prapadye. Narasinghamadhyam Sharanam Prapadye. Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare. Jai Nrsimhadev, 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 Jai Nrsimhadev. Jaya Narahari, 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 Jaya Narahari. Jaya Bhakta Prahlad, Bhakta Prahlad, Bhakta Prahlad, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Sri Narasingha Bhagavan ki.
But the fire flames within the fire, they do not see.
Please repeat after me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Thank you for joining us on this rainy evening. We are really very grateful that you made it to the temple. Thank you. Is there anybody here for the very first time? We have a small gift for you. Please walk up.
Otherwise you cannot touch the
Is there anybody else here for the first time? Please come up. We have a small gift for you.
fire.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Can we talk?
Desire, but you put into the fire, it becomes warm, warm.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who are observing fast today for Ekadashi, breaking the fast is tomorrow morning between 6:32 to 10:40. Tomorrow is otherwise also a very special day. It is the appearance day of Lord Vamnadev. Last week we heard some pastimes of Lord Vamnadev, and tomorrow he actually appeared on this planet. Tuesday, we have appearance day of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, so fasting until noon. And we will have a program in the temple. We conduct Pushpanjali for Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So there will be a class at 11 in the morning, which will be followed by the Aarti and then the feast. So those of you who can join on Tuesday at midday, we would invite you to kindly come. Our dear Ritushrava Prabhu and Dhankali Mataji are visiting us. Let's welcome them with a very loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Thank you so much. They are here for a very short duration this time. And my request is that next time, please make it a little bit longer. Today's class will be given by His Grace Jananda Prabhu. He represents DT Worship Ministry of ISKCON, and he had been here, and we are having some discussions. Plus, he is going to give us a little bit of an information about DT worship at home for everybody's benefit. Please make sure that your please make sure that your phones are switched off, your kids are taken care of. If they are not attending the Sunday school, please make sure that they are not disturbing the class. And we have to kindly sit in such a way that people who are coming for darshan, they can come up from that side, and somebody can volunteer not to let people block the presentation. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So first of all, I'd like to thank all of those from ISKCON Chicago for inviting me here and tolerating me as I've been here these last couple of days. So, as Radharaman Prabhu mentioned, my name is Jayananda Das, and my service is to um, encourage, enthuse, and help train those of us that are involved with deity worship at our temples and even at our homes. And so I thought it would be nice to offer sort of a deity worship 101 type of course, so to speak. So this is just an introduction into the basic ideas and concepts and importance of deity worship within the realm of bhakti devotional service. So, first of all, before we start, it's very important that we recall, we understand that within the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, how prominent deity worship is. Not only did our beloved Srila Prabhupada place great emphasis, and he established so many temples and so many deities, but we also understand how the founders of the Hare Krishna movement, such as Srila Rupa Goswami in the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, how they were so integral to introducing and putting deity worship to the forefront as one of the principal sadhanas. So deity worship and the deity, it's not just some imagination or speculation where we hear these fanciful pastimes and stories of the Lord reciprocating, interacting with the devotees. We see how uh, back in ancient times we'd read in Shastra, and there's also so many stories, even in our contemporary days, where the Lord manifested in his Archavigraha, deity form, has somehow or some way reciprocated with his devotees, and there's been some miraculous things that have gone on. We have stories such as pastimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the glories of Madhavendra Puri and the Gopal deity. This Gopal deity is now, we understand, to be Nathji. We have the Madan Mohan deity with Sri Rupa Goswami, how there is this intimate interaction. And we see how also the same Gopal deity with Shakshi Gopal, there's a wonderful pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we understand that, okay, if our acharyas have placed so much emphasis on deity worship, then maybe there's something to it. Maybe this is something that we should try to understand better and to take a little seriously, so that we're able to please the Lord in his deity form, and thus will ultimately get the spiritual benefit. So what I'm proposing we do today is we go over some introductory aspects of Archana. First of all, what is it? What's the definition? So we can understand what Archana is from a couple different aspects. First of all, we have Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we understand is Nectar of Devotion that Srila Prabhupada translated as a summary study. Shuddhi Nyasadi Purvanga Karma Nirvaha Purvakam Archanam Tupacharanam Shan Mantre Upapadanam. So this is somewhat of a ritualistic definition, but it is what it is. Archana is defined as offering of articles of worship, or upacharas, with mantra, after having performed preliminary purificatory activities, or purvanga karmas, such as bhuta shuddhi and nyasas. So we understand, okay, this is the literal definition of Archana. Our Srila Prabhupada, he gives a much simpler explanation. Basically, he says, deity worship means to fix your mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, always worshiping Krishna. So many of us that have been reading the Shastras and the purports of Srila Prabhupada, we see come up from time to time that there's these two primary rules. And all the other rules and regulations and do's and don'ts, they're subsidiary, they're secondary. And so what is this primary two rules? What is it ultimately distilled down to in our Krishna consciousness? Yeah. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Yes. Smartavya satatam Vishnur Vishmartavyo na jatu chit. Always remember Vishnu or Krishna, never forget him. So the beautiful thing about Archana is that it gives us the ability to engage all of our senses in serving the Lord. So while this presentation, this discussion is about deity worship, by no means is it our primary sadhana. The Yuga Dharma for this day and age is Harinam. Yes, it's chanting the Lord's name. So this is primary. However, deity worship provides the function of a principal auxiliary sadhana to chanting the holy name. And when performed properly, it purifies us so that we're able to better take advantage and better engage in the chanting of the holy name. It fixes our minds. And we see how Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he mentions how there's these 64 different items of devotional service, and over half of them has some way, shape, or form connected to deity worship. And also among those 64, he mentions 5 that are primary. Many of us have probably seen this. We'll just do a quick review. First of all, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Why it is important? Because the understanding and hearing about the Leelas of the Lord help us better to connect with the Lord. We're associating with Krishna himself when we read the Shastras. Then we have association with advanced devotees. Once again, by connecting with the devotees of the Lord, we're in effect connecting with the Lord as well. And we understand that we don't achieve bhakti, but we receive bhakti. And who do we receive that from? From the exalted devotees. Okay, they plant the seed. And provided our kshetra, our field is fertile, then that bhakti lata can grow. Then also living in a sacred place. Why is a sacred place important? Because a place, what makes a place sacred is that exalted devotees have either been there, some exalted pastimes of the Lord. The Lord had some pastimes there as well. So once again, it comes down to association and connecting. And then, of course, we have chanting the holy name. So by far, this is the primary consideration in our devotional process. And then lastly, we have serving the deity form of the Lord. Okay? So, Srila Rupa Goswami says if we're able to just somehow engage in any of these things, we'll make rapid advancement. So what to speak of somehow if we're able to integrate some or most? We're situated in a very solid foundation to be able to please the Lord and make devotional advancement. And then we have this aspect in deity worship, Pancharatrika Vidhi and Bhagavat Vidhi. We follow the Narada Pancharatra when it comes to our deity worship, and this Pancharatra is closely associated with deity worship, but there's other aspects as well. And then we have the Bhagavat Vidhi. So we see these 2 rails of a train track going parallel, and we understand that as long as those rails are going parallel, we should be on solid ground to move forward. We should be able to make a smooth, direct journey forward. So similarly, which this deity worship on one rail, in following the rules and regulations of deity worship according to Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, there. And then on the other rail, we have this Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. We have this hearing and chanting. So together, it makes a very safe formula for us to make advancement. And the Lord is present in his deity form. So it's not that, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's not that we're just making believe and that we somehow have this blind faith that Krishna is non-different than his deity form. Srila Prabhupada often mentions that because we don't have the spiritual eyes, the divya chaktus, to be able to see the Lord with our current conditioning, the Lord very mercifully incarnates, if you will, into the form of the deity. So he's giving us a way, an outlet in order for us to develop our relationship with him. And Srila Prabhupada states here, worship of the Archa Vigraha is not idol worship. The Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Lord in a form appreciable by a devotee. Therefore, devotees engage in the temple in the service of the Lord as Archa Vigraha, a form made of stula, material objects such as stone, metal, wood, jewels, or paint. All of these are called stula, or physical representations. Since the devotees follow the regulative principles of worship, even though the Lord is there in his physical form, he is non-different from his original spiritual form. Thus, the devotee gets the benefit of achieving the ultimate goal of life. That is to say, becoming always absorbed in the thought of the Lord. So we see how in this purport from Srimad Bhagavatam, this point once again comes up where we were mentioning always remembering the Lord, never forgetting. So we're able to be absorbed in that. To this point, I also want to share some quick audio of Srila Prabhupada as well, where he speaks to this point a little more.
It is grass-made as you say, idol. Didhanam Pramantam Vedana Sutaiva Bhajam. If you think it is a brass-made idol, then it will remain brass-made idol to you forever. But if you elevate yourself to a higher platform, Krishna consciousness, then this Krishna is God. This Krishna is God.
Okay? So our Srila Prabhupada makes the point very clear. So if we develop the eyes of devotion, so to speak, then we'll be qualified in order to have this deeper realization and understanding that the Lord is non-different in the deity form. And then here we have His Grace Jananivas Prabhu. Jananivas Prabhu is one of ISKCON's principal pujaris. He came to Mayapur as a young man in 1972. Srila Prabhupada personally trained him up in deity worship. And Srila Prabhupada gave him the order, the instruction to teach others in deity worship as well. So I revere him. Many of us revere him as an Archana Guru. And he's been instrumental for the last 40 years in developing the deity worship program at ISKCON Mayapur. And so within this presentation, I'm going to have Jananivas Prabhu say a little something, as well as we have Banu Maharaj coming up as well. I'll speak about him in a moment. So here's Jananivas Prabhu speaking about qualifications for Archana and how it relates to home worship. We understand how Srila Prabhupada was very strictly following the rules of Pancharatrika Vidhi. Brahmin Diksha was required in order to offer temple worship. But when it comes to those of us that are offering home worship, that's not necessarily the case.
Personal, should they be initiated or not initiated? According to the rules, they should be initiated. We know that's a fact. But if someone has attraction to worship Krishna and they're not initiated, they invite the deity and they put it in their house and worship. That's actually a good thing because they become attracted to Krishna and worship. They may not have been officially initiated. But generally that will lead them to want to practice more and more and become initiated. So I don't think it's wrong that nobody can worship the deity unless you just use like diction and mantras and things like that. They can be encouraged. They educated and taught the proper procedure that we expect to come up to a higher standard. Of course, they should be educated. I've seen Chapman, they have what they call welcoming, deity welcoming. And they don't do an official full-on festival with Brahmanas like that. They have the lunch, kirtan, and then Chandraradana Maharaj, where there's no singing devotion. They'll give a name, and they'll give instruction. I know quite a few occasions from them. He used to have a lecture after devotion. And how sincere and serious they should be in worship Krishna's company. So you treat him sort of as such. But he gives them lots of advice and he speaks of them very seriously, the commitment they're making. First class. And you can see it goes in. Most of the installation when everyone is there and all the homas and the jugglers and 3 days at a time and the adivashis, things like that. And, fantastic abhisheks and dressing gorgeous, everything. And then, festival's finished, everybody goes and what your pujaris there were left looking at the food and everything else. Nobody told them really anything, and I was supposed to do. And it's not successful there. It turns out a fiasco. Whereas the rehearsed that also, they have a much better conception and a better understanding because they had that training and experience from their guru, seeing the devotees there. And they can actually maintain a better standard than have a big show, but if you really conscious of how to worship the deity, lack of that, then actually that becomes a big benefit for the rehearsal stuff. I had deity Krishna before I remember the devotees class from Paris, deity Krishna alone. Carry him around. Talk to him. Didn't go back. But it was infusing for me. Reality. I didn't know anything goes back to that. Deity worship. But then, if someone come up and said, you can't have that deity because you have to be a Brahman and initiated. Because Brahman was initiated enough. And another thing is that the acharya, or the guru, he can accept a lot of responsibility. If he sees his disciples are quite serious in their mind, authorizes them to worship. He carries a lot of that. And he carries a lot of that. Like which is right very well in that. So the guru, because he's looking after these people, his intention their welfare. So obviously his instructions, he'll keep them.
Nane Vas Prabhu ki jai. So one important point related to what Prabhu was saying in the end is, although, Srila Prabhupada encouraged deity worship amongst the grahastas and allowed those of us with a desire to more or less engage in home deity worship, it's also very important that whoever our spiritual authority is or whom we've taken shelter of, or seniors here at this temple, what have you, if you're considering taking up deity worship, it's important to consult them and to get their blessings first as well. Because there's a responsibility, a commitment involved when we decide to take that on. And then there's, of course, this integral aspect of how the spiritual master plays into the process of deity worship. Some may ask, are we offering to Krishna? Are we offering to Guru? Are we both? So Srila Prabhupada sums this up quite nicely. He basically says, the process is that whatever we offer to the deity, that is offered to Guru, and Guru offers to his Guru. In this way, goes to Krishna. We don't directly offer Radha Krishna, no. We have no right. Neither he accepts in that way. The pictures of the acharyas, why there are. Actually, one has to offer the plate to his Guru, and he'll offer to his Guru. He offers to his Guru, his Guru. In this way, it will go to Krishna. That is the process. You cannot directly approach Krishna or other subordinates to Krishna. That is not possible. So the point Srila Prabhupada is making um, in this lecture is that the Diksha Guru, or the Guru, our spiritual authority, is giving us connection to the Parampara. So we understand that it's only by his blessings and giving us, the license to worship the deity that ultimately, whatever offerings, whatever assistance we're offering on behalf of our Guru to the deity, it's going through the Parampara. And then a very an interesting topic comes about, and we always have a lot of discussion. What's the standards? I have a deity at home, or there's a deity at the temple. What standards should I follow? I don't want to make offenses. I want to, do it properly. So is what I'm doing enough, or do I need to do more, or what can I, all these different considerations come into play. And aside from that, there's also the concern of, well, this temple is doing like this, and this other temple is doing like this. I might have come from Sri Sampradaya, or I might come from Pushti Marg. Or, there's different focuses and different, embellishments and details with regard to the worship. And that can all be easily reconciled. And here we have Banu Maharaj, another disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who has been integral to helping establish a lot of the different details and rituals of Archana within ISKCON. He's been one of the principal translators and commentators on books such as Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is the Gaudiya Vaishnav's somewhat handbook, you could say, with regard to many aspects, deity worship not being the only one. So here we have Banu Maharaj that's going to be speaking a little bit about standards, the variations in standards and procedures.
Though Pancharatra gives us the rules and regulations for deity worship, within that there are variations that can be incorporated. In other words, everyone does not follow the same standard. That is not only for ISKCON. That is a principle that we'll see in various sampradayas. Of course, we have home worship and temple worship, and there's obvious differences in standard there. We'll find differences in standard between different sampradayas, with the emphasis in that worship, even though we're going back to the same scripture as Pancharatra. We'll find difference between the Sri Sampradaya and the Madhva Sampradaya, where they emphasize the procedures they follow. And then, of course, the Vallavas and the Gaudiyas will find differences also. Now, in terms of Sampradaya, of course, maybe the difference we could say is that we rely less on the vidis than the Sris and Madhvas. And we put a little more emphasis upon the mood, or the feeling, which is natural because ultimately in the Gaudiya Sampradaya we do emphasize Raganuga as a very powerful process. And it's through Raganuga that we can realize Krishna and Gokul in the spiritual world. So we have a little bit of emphasis there on this mood of love. So that lessens the extended rules of Sampradaya. So by very nature, worship within the Gaudiya Sampradaya is somewhat tinged with the Raganuga mood in itself. And of course, because our main object of worship is Radha Krishna, this again is in the direction of Radha also. So, in terms of the standards within the Gaudiya Sampradaya, then we'll also see differences, not in principles, but in the details. So, for instance, we'll find differences between the Vrindavan worship and the Bengal worship, for instance. Or we'll find differences between Radharaman Temple and Radha Govinda in Jaipur. There'll be some differences there. However, they take their basis from their basic standard from the Hari Bhakti Vilas, and they take what they feel is necessary, and they emphasize those items. So then we come to to the particular branch of the Gaudiya Sampradaya, that is, what was established by Pakistan and carried on by Prabhupada. So we also have our slight variations or what differences or emphasis which make it a little unique. So one of the unique features of ISKCON mostly is that deity worship actually becomes quite prominent. And it also becomes quite elaborate compared to many temples we see in India. The amount of attention we put on worshiping the deity, preparing offerings, on dressing the deity every day. Many temples, they don't work, they dress the deity every day. That's once a week, like in the Sri Sampradaya, for instance. So we worship every day. Of course, in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, generally, they change every day. But then we do spend a considerable amount of effort to make very nice dresses for the deity, for instance. Much more than any other group, probably in India. Lots of money on the ornamentation and on the dresses. So we put quite a bit of emphasis on the appearance of the deities and the worship of the deities, the offerings to the deities, etc. So that in itself is a little bit of a variation, which stems from the fact that Prabhupada actually was very interested in having very high standards of deity worship in terms of offerings and dressing, etc. So that is one difference in the ISKCON concern of the other groups on devotees. And then within ISKCON itself, we will find variations. We find basic variation between home worship and temple worship. Temple worship will have higher standards and home requirements, minimum standards, acceptable standards. That's one difference. And then within temple, we find differences also. One, of course, is according to means, manpower, the money, the size of the temple, etc. So small temples always have simpler worship, less offerings, less expense on deity elements, etc. And a big wealthy temple will have more offerings, more expensive deity elements, etc. In spite of all these variations, we should not forget the main item there is devotion, whether it's in the home or in the temple. And that though we do have different standards, whatever, ultimately Krishna's pleased with the devotion. So someone who does a simple worship in the home with devotion may please the Lord more than the person worshiping with not very high standards in the temple. It may be like that. So we should not always just think of high standards itself, but we have to accompany that with the devotional aspect. But in terms of variations in the temple, generally we do try to have higher and higher standards without sacrificing devotion. And if we do that, then this is inspiration for us, we can say in terms of our devotion, that we can offer more items, better items. This kind of rather indication of our devotion, thinking of offering the best to Krishna. That way, that indicates your devotion. On the other hand, of course, that could be negative because we'll think we can buy Krishna with our money, and the more expensive things we have, the more we'll please Krishna. That's not the intention. The intention is that we express our devotion by offering very nice items to the Lord. We should never forget high standards should be there, but at the same time, we can never forget the devotional aspect. And that's common both with the home worship and the temple worship, all standards of temple worship.
So to sum up this unity and diversity of standards and procedures, there's a nice shloka in the 4th canto of Bhagavatam. The translation is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the 12-syllable mantra for worshiping Lord Krishna. One should install the physical forms of the Lord, and with the chanting of the mantra, one should offer flowers and fruits and other varieties of foodstuffs, exactly according to the rules and regulations prescribed by authorities. And this is the key point, this last sentence. But this should be done in consideration of place, time, and attendant conveniences and inconveniences. So basically, kaladesha patra, according to time, place, circumstance, there can be some adjustments of the details, but the principles remain. And then we have this Muda worship. Banu Maharaj was speaking on this to some extent. We understand that as most of us are practicing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. We're practicing according to rules and regulations because we haven't, or many of us haven't quite developed, or we haven't fully developed spontaneous affection for the Lord. And so um, when we're performing this deity worship, Srila Prabhupada states here how we should approach it. He says, without serving Krishna according to the Vidhi Marg regulative principles of the Pancharatrika Vidhi, unscrupulous persons want to jump immediately to the Rag Marg principles. Such persons are called Sahajya. One should strictly follow the Vidhi Marg regulative principles in the worship of Lakshmi Narayan, although the Lord is present in the temple as Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna includes Lakshmi Narayan. Therefore, when one worships the Lord according to the regulative principles, the Lord accepts the service in the role of Lakshmi Narayan. If we do not follow the regulative principles on the Vidhi Marg platform and keep our eyes trained to spot offenses, we will not make progress. So, we understand how sometimes the question comes about, how do we know if the Lord accepted our offering or our service and so on and so forth? The answer is right here. He says the Lord accepts the service provided we're performing it according to the regulative principles. So as long as we're following the instructions of the authorities and what we see according to Guru Sadhu Shastra, we can understand that it's being accepted. And then we can start talking a little bit about preliminary home worship considerations. How many of you are engaged to some extent with home deity worship? We have home deities. Okay. So, first of all, there's the altar arrangement. So some basic considerations that are there. The location. Ideally we want to have the altar set up in some area that would facilitate being able to serve the deities nicely, being able to gather around the deities. So, that may be a main area of the home, or it might not be, because perhaps other things are going on there. Children might be playing in the area, and it might be there might be concern there for the deities with young children, what have you. Generally, it's ideal if the deities are facing east, but that's not necessarily a hard and fast rule. The particular home that you're in might not necessarily facilitate that easily. So the idea is to make it convenient, pleasurable for the deities, as well as convenient for being able to engage in their service like that. Perhaps being able to have some privacy for the deities, so maybe if you have the ability to have a separate room, that'd be nice, like a temple room, so to speak. Like that. And then we have the arrangement, how to set up your altar. There's some nice like devotee handbooks that are out there. There's a few that have been out there through the years where it gives some basic considerations for setting up the altar. And generally we'd have the parampara. If you're able to have multiple levels, you'd have the parampara on the bottom, and then you'd have the deities up above, something like that. Another consideration is having picture altar. It's not necessary to have three-dimensional murti forms per se. We can offer practically all the worship except snan, bathing, vastra, alankar. We can offer our bhoga, we can offer arti to pictures. Srila Prabhupada emphasized even in many centers, when he was physically manifest on the planet, he would say, no, just set up a Guru Garanga altar. And what he meant by this Guru Garanga altar was, it was a nice picture of Panchatattva, and then it was the parampara below. So we can have very gorgeous altars that are just pictures. And the understanding is that there's not this commitment to worship when it comes to a picture altar as there would be for actual murtis. So those of us that are traveling or quite busy in our lives, if it's would be to prove difficult or challenging to maintain some regulated worship, then it's advised that you have a picture altar instead. And then we have how Srila Prabhupada particularly emphasizes how the Grihastha ashram is the primary ashram for those devotees to engage in deity worship. More so than the brahmacharis, the sannyasis. He says deity worship is so important to those of us in the Grihastha ashram. Why? Well, this will come out when we speak this quote. This is a quote from the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He states, an opulent householder can collect luxurious paraphernalia for deity worship, and consequently, for householder devotees to worship the deity is compulsory. So he's practically saying that, no, this is like a common, not a common, well, compulsory. That word means it's practically a must. In our Krishna consciousness movement, there are brahmacharis, grihastas, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis. But the deity worship in the temple should be performed especially by the householders. The brahmacharis can go with the sannyasis to preach, and the vanaprasthas should prepare themselves for the next status of renounced life, sannyas. Grihasta devotees, however, are generally engaged in material activities, and therefore, if they do not take to deity worship, their falling down is positively assured. So this is a pretty heavy statement he states at the end here. But you'll find other quotes that are of a similar mood, where it's emphasized how this deity worship should go on. Because we understand, those of us that are grihastas, have so many duties, family duties, we're going to work and so on and so forth, we're connected with a lot of energy out there that can distract us. That being said, by having the deity in the home and by making your home like a temple, it gives you that foundation, that base for your whole family to gather around and to engage in service to. So this is the point. And then while Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing how so many householders should perform deity worship, he's also stating, wait a second, don't neglect the temple deities. Sometimes there's this propensity to do that. We've found every now and then in the past devotees who might take to deity worship. They're heavily engaged in deity worship at the home, but their help and their service is needed to make the deity worship pull on nicely at the temple. So we see here how Prabhupada's saying, I think it best if everyone centers his attention on the deity in the temple. And in that way, temple worship will pull on nicely. Of course, if the temple is unapproachable or too far, that is a different thing. But if the temple is easily accessible, then it is the best program. He also says, as for the grihastas worshipping Gauranitai deities, that is only for those who live far away from the temple and cannot attend. Otherwise, such worship is redundant. There is already deity worship going on in the temple, and they should attend the aratis, not install their own deities. The householding community in Los Angeles or any of our temples is not meant to be independent from the temple program. So the context of this second letter is that there's devotees that are living very close by, down the street, a few blocks away, within 5 minutes of the temple, 10 minutes of the temple. And the concern was that their free time, their energy is going towards the home deity worship when they have Rukmini Dvarkadish right there in LA and so much service to be done, in wanting to emphasize the temple is the main congregating place for serving the deities together with other devotees and congregating like that. Okay? So there's so many services, for instance, that can be engaged in by one and all of us here. The deity worship program has no end. It can be expand and expand and expand. So there's something for everybody, whether you have just a few minutes on a Sunday or whether you're able to come 1 or 2 days a week. I'm sure that they can find something for you to help out with. And then for our last video, we have Banu Swami again talking a little bit about the difference particularly with home worship and temple worship?
In the previous ages, we did not have a real dichotomy of home versus temple. It wasn't very prominent. In the home, people may worship Shalagram Shiva, and in the temple, they would have the deities. Nowadays, particularly within ISKCON, we have huge congregations, and home deities become very, very prominent. Many people have these home deities. At the same time, Prabhupada encouraged temples, so we have temple deities as well. So the question will come, what's the difference between these two? Are they both Krishna, or is the home deity not Krishna? And one of the temple is Krishna. If they're both Krishna, then why would I have to go to the temple at all? I can just stay in my home and worship the deity there. And what are the standards? Do we have to apply the same standards in the temple that we apply those standards to the home also? Or do we have lesser standards? And we have another question, do we have to be initiated to worship in the home? Definitely in the temple, it is that there's an assistance on initiation and follow the regular procedures. So do I have to follow these procedures, rules, regulations in the home? So such questions arise, and we really have to understand the principles very carefully. So Archana has a scriptural definition. We can't just make up a new definition. Of course, we can modify according to convenience and circumstances the rules and regulations to some degree, but we have basic principles that must be followed in all kinds of deity worship we perform. So, whether it is home worship or whether it's temple worship, there is a necessity of having an authorized form of the Lord who is installed properly, and then worshipped at least to a minimum standard that is approved by the mantra or Shastra. So that should be in the home and in the temple. Now, of course, in temples, we will expect there will be higher standards, more rules and regulations, more offerings, etc., because there are more persons available for the worship. And in the home, basically, it's a husband and wife and maybe their children assisting in worshiping the deity. And they may be working, so they cannot follow the same schedule. But the basic principles have to be established. So as I said, there are some standards. That is initiation with mantra, following the procedures that are the minimum standards of mantra procedures, plus the installation of the deity, and along with that, all the rules and regulations. A minimum standard has to be established. Also important, as I mentioned previously, is that that devotion has to be there. In other words, we're not establishing a deity is to show people something, whether it is a temple or in a house. In other words, we're not using it as a prestige symbol. I've got a deity, so that makes me more advanced, and we can show off with the people. It's not for that purpose. And similarly, in temple, we don't have the deity to show that I've accomplished something. I'm a good manager, so I establish a deity. Or I establish a deity so people will come and give money, give donations, so that way we can maintain ourselves. So the essence of the deity worship is the devotion of the individuals involved, and they're expressing that devotion by worshiping the Lord. And that becomes a sadhana for the devotees involved. In the temple, there's an added benefit we get from that because it is a public temple, and therefore other people come, and if they see the devotion with which we're worshiping that deity, they become inspired to accept that worship also. They'll accept Krishna as the supreme deity, and they can make a decision, they get enthusiastic, make a decision to also worship the Lord, either chant his name or do some service for the Lord. Maybe later on they'll even become serious, read scriptures, and take initiation. So it's a preaching method as well, the deity in the temple. The home deity, of course, usually doesn't serve that purpose. The purpose of the home deity is regulation of the family, particularly the husband and the wife. So they have deities there, so they can perform their bhakti in a favorable manner. So one is that they have to chant, like everybody else. Chanting their rounds, etc., is the most important thing. This is the Yoga Dharma. Then they support that with the deity worship. Deity worship along with the chanting helps us understand why we're chanting, and it gives us a correct service. So that is the benefit for the couple worshiping the deity in the home. So this is the purpose of the worship. It's not for other extraneous purposes. So if these principles are understood, there should be no problem and there should be no offense in the way that the individual in the home worships the deity. So definitely, yes, there will be differences in standard because the number of people involved in the worship is less, the time they can spend is less in the house, even probably the financial situation is not as good as in the temple, they have less money to spend, etc. But essential elements are there, basic standards, and behind that, the devotion and an understanding of what the purpose of that worship is to please the Supreme Lord at all times. So if that is there, then it becomes successful. If it's not there, then it becomes useless. But same thing goes with the temple. If we don't really understand the purpose of why we're doing all of this temple worship, then again, it becomes useless. So we have to understand the devotion behind it, as well as the external worship that we perform.
So an important point that Maharaj alluded to there was, these items that we're offering, these upacharas, it's not necessarily those things that please Krishna themselves, but these items, these upacharas, are the vehicles in which we can offer our love and affection, our bhakti. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakta priyachati. So it's with love and devotion, that's the point. And then there's this aspect, we can't have a discussion about deity worship without talking about cleanliness especially. Srila Prabhupada emphasized cleanliness, cleanliness, cleanliness. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to read this whole quote, but in the end, he's telling his disciple, the idea is summit cleanliness. That will satisfy Krishna. So summit means you can't go higher, like the summit of Mount Everest. You're on the very, very tip. You can't go higher. So while that might be a very hard goal to attain, it's a noble goal to aspire for. And Srila Prabhupada talks about how we have to be fire in order to touch fire. He's making the analogy that because there's a difference in temperature, unless you're fire, you can't associate with fire or you'll get burned. So similarly, when it comes to deity worship, Krishna, who's the supreme pure, Param Brahma, Param Dham, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. So he's the supreme pure, and in order to approach him, we similarly need to try our utmost to develop this purity as well. And then there's the question of children in deity worship. Srila Prabhupada encouraged that children that are generally about 10 years or older, they can engage in deity worship themselves. They generally have developed some level of maturity and able to offer some worship at home. And before that age, you encourage them, you engage them to assist in the worship that you're doing. They can help you make the offerings or clean the paraphernalia, whatever it may be. So it's to the children's benefit, it's to your benefit as a family unit to, from early on, engage the children in this as well. And then there's the question of travel in deity worship, because the understanding is we made this commitment, and you can, a loose analogy is it's like taking care of a child. It's not like when you want to go travel, you just leave the child at home unattended. So similarly, there's this understanding that whatever we do, whatever level of worship we establish, we want to be able to maintain that. And so if it'll come up where we have to travel, or for some reason or another, we may not be able to do the worship ourselves. So what do? Well, there's a few options. The best option is that perhaps there's another family member that can take care of the worship in your absence. So perhaps the other spouse can cover the worship, or a family member at the home. Otherwise, perhaps a friend, another devotee can care for the deities, whether it be at your own house where they are, or perhaps the deities would go to their home for the time being. Or perhaps the deities would come with you while you travel. Many devotees will travel with their deities if they're an appropriate size. So there's the point here is to do your best to maintain whatever level of worship is going on. Srila Prabhupada always emphasized that, whatever you're doing, whatever regulation you're doing, level of service you're doing for the deities, there's no question of decrease. You want to at least maintain it. So better to establish some level of worship and stick to it, something that's maintainable. Don't be careful and don't, shoot for something very high and then shortly realize that I'm not able to maintain this. Better to establish a level of worship that's maintainable and go with that. Okay, so we're just about out of time here. I just want to offer some resources that the ISKCON Deity Worship Ministry provides. You can go to deityworship.com. That's our website, so you'll find some different resources there, different procedures for, say, offering food, offering arati, so on and so forth. We have Facebook page, Google groups, things to keep connected with regard to deity worship. We have an online courses that are coming up. I'm developing a home worship online deity course where it'll involve, it's very much like what we see with online Bhakti Shastri, using the modern college online tools to be able to present in an interactive way the different material. And then we have Mayapur Academy. This is a deity worship training school, Brahmana training school that we have in Mayapur, where you can learn different aspects of deity worship. And then coming soon, we're revising the current ISKCON deity worship manual, and we hope and pray that we'll make it available by this January. So that there will show different worship standards, be it very elaborate for the temple to relatively simple for home worship. And I want to offer this appeal as well. If you have any expertise that you might be able to offer to the ministry, many of you might be involved with IT. We could, for our school and elsewhere, whether you have some experience in website development or database management, you can offer your service somehow to the ISKCON Deity Worship Ministry. This Pujari training school we have libraries, we have computer terminals, and we're always looking for new equipment to be able to facilitate that. And then, of course, sponsorship opportunities for different projects we have. As I mentioned, we have this upcoming deity worship handbook, this revision to Pancharatra Pradipa, coming out in January. We plan on printing that in Calcutta, and you could contribute to producing this manual, which will in turn go out all over the world and be in the service of those devotees who are offering worship on our ISKCON temples as well as in their home. So you can indirectly offer deity worship worldwide through helping with that. And so I'm going to leave you lastly with a nice final quote from Srila Prabhupada.
What you can offer to Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. What you have got, what is your value? And what is the value of your things? It is nothing. Therefore, the real thing is bhaktya. Real thing is your feeling. Krishna, finally, I have no qualification. I am most often follower. But I applaud this thing for this will be accepted. Don't think of all
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you very much. I think we're almost out of time. Maybe we have a minute or two for questions. I think we need to hard stop within 5 minutes though. So perhaps if there's a question, we can take it. Otherwise, we can go to the next aspect of the program. Any quick questions? All right. Thank you very much. I'll be out and about and available if any of you feel free to approach me should you have any questions, what have you. Hare Krishna.
What did you tell me upstairs, okay? Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati स्वनिदे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी अष्टत्यादिशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी असत्यादिश जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्ता वृंदा Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That's real different. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You see, different. It's a little different. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. High five. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Hey, go! Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna